schedule for things. This is helpful to know who I'm going to be losing when. So let's take a look at our calendar here. Now, I'm still working on the assignment sheet to decide exactly which topics we're covering each day. But we are here, obviously, on Friday. And our spring break is this week here. Now, we have our AP mock exam is our final exam grade for this class. We will be doing that this Monday and Wednesday. I'm going to make sure those are our block days. This Monday and Wednesday. Now, I believe some of you guys a couple of you are leaving me for the government field trip on Wednesday, is that right? Oh, yeah. How many of you are that? How many of you is that? Okay, so those of you that will be leaving me for the government field trip, I'll just have you make up that portion of it on Friday. This is how it's going to go. Okay, I'm sorry, now I'm like spinning in circles here. Like I said, I've been thinking a lot about all this. So, for our exam specifically for calculus, let me just go and pull it up here. Oh no, what's going on? Are you leaving me? Hold on, wait, what? This day?
Yeah.
Where are you going to be?
In GA. It's a national geospatial agency. It's Sunday or
When are you coming back?
Like the end of the
I'm sorry, I'm saying this very accusatory. When are you going to be reaching?
Like the end of the day.
Okay, so I'll have you here. And here? Is anyone missing
What are we going
both of these days?
You're only here Friday.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're only here Friday.
So.
We're going to have to talk in here. Okay.
These field trips are messing me up.
I don't want to do that.
Oh my God, don't stop.
We're doing like that.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. Why did I sign up?
Can you unsign up? I'm just never mind.
I kind of want to.
Okay. So I want to talk about our structure for our AB exam. Because obviously it's different depending on which AP class you're in. For calculus, we talked about we have multiple choice for response calculator, non-calculator. So the structure of it is a long exam. It's a total of 3 hours and 15 minutes of nothing but math. So you start off with multiple choice. So you go, yes, okay. So the first part is non-calculator. So it's 30 questions, 60 minutes. That's what we talked about before. Our multiple choice for non-calculator is basically 2 minutes a question. And then I think they give you like a 2-minute break. And then you do the calculator portion, which is 15 questions, 45 minutes. So that comes to about 3 minutes a question. Can we zoom in on this? There, now you guys can actually read it. Okay, and then I think you get like a 10-minute break, and then you move on into free response. And so free response, you have 2 graphing calculator questions, 30 minutes or 15 minutes a question. And then you transition to your 4 non-calculator questions. You have an hour for that. And like I said last class, the way that our free response is set up is that once you have finished your calculator portion, you put your calculators away, you continue on to the non-calculator questions, but you can return to the calculator questions just without your calculator. So the 60 minutes you have to devote to these 4 questions, anything you want to go back and change on your calculator questions. Just you cannot pull back out your calculator. So if you look, the breakdown for this is an hour 30 for free response and an hour 45 for multiple choice. Our class is 87 minutes long, just short of the hour and 30 minutes. So, conveniently, on that Monday, we have Stinger 2. So, on that Monday, we'll be doing the multiple choice, the hour and 45-minute part. And then on Wednesday, we are going to squeeze 90 minutes into 87 minutes. How is that going to happen? We have got options here. Our first option is starting at 8:05, if everyone can make it 8:05, or you just stay 3 minutes late to finish it out and I can write you pass. Some of you guys will be like, nope, I'm done. I'm not going to change anything more. Peace out, Boy Scout. I'm going off to whatever Stinger's that day. But if you want those remaining 3 minutes, then you can just stay, finish those 3 minutes, and I'll write you past your class. So let me ask you guys, would you prefer to start at 8:05 on this day, or just start at normal 8:10, and then if you need to stay those last few minutes, stay those last few minutes? Normal 8:10, that's what we'll go with. So if you are gone on Monday, we're gonna have to figure out, because making that up in class would not be sufficient time. So we might have to, we'll talk as we get closer, but we might have to, I mean, there's two portions to it. There's the 60 minutes and the 45 minutes. Maybe we do a 60-minute and then 45-minute after school, something like that. We'll figure it out. So
We'll try and unsign up.
okay,
It's kind of more important.
it's up to, you don't have to not go just because I want you to not go. You are allowed to go. We'll figure it out if you do go. I will not think anything less of you if you go on your school field trip. Okay, so that's what we're looking at is our spring break. Again, so our spring break is this week here. So we will take our multiple choice on the 8th, and that's going to be class and stinger. Woohoo! And then on Wednesday will be our free response. Friday we'll do some review, and those that were absent will be using that to make up. So then you go to spring break, you don't have to think about your mock exam, it's done behind you, although we should still think about calculus. And then when we come back, we'll use these days to go over our mock exam and just do some more review before I lose you guys to APs. Okay. So with all that being said, what we're looking at is we have this week and the following week to kind of review in preparation for our mock exam. And so how I've broken this down is that I've broken down, so we've done, I shouldn't say a previous teacher did this. She broke down multiple choice into 6 different topics, and then she took the questions from 2014 to 2010 to 2014 for response questions. Let me pull this up. Okay, hold up that and look at this.
Just don't go there. Just don't go there. Just don't show up. Your field trip. Where are you at?
Okay, hold on.
Tell her.
I'm ready for that race tomorrow.
Yes. Okay. So a few years ago, a previous Calc teacher went through the free response questions from 2010 to 2014 and categorized it by basically what's the main topic it was covering. When she went through, she found that it was basically particle motion, function analysis when we have a graph, function analysis when we have a chart, rate in, rate out problems, and then there's some other types of questions. I feel like the last couple years, AP has kind of changed a little bit in how they're asking their questions or the types of questions. So I went ahead and then went from 2015 to 2018 for response questions. And last night I was putting them in piles. And it seems that they're still covering the same main topics. They have rate in, rate out. There is one from each year. Function analysis with the graphs. That's where they give us the graph of either f of x or f prime of x, and they ask you questions about it. There's one from each year for that. Function analysis with the chart, so they give you a chart of values, and again, they're asking questions. Typical type of things they asked here was maybe having you do a Riemann sum. They love to ask about intermediate value theorem or mean value theorem within these free response questions. And then on some of them, I noticed that they would ask you to do the derivative in which you have to use chain rule, quotient rule, and they also like to say, find f prime of 4. Explain the meaning of this in the context of the problem. So that was our function analysis first. And then there were still particle motion problems. 3 of the 4 years had that. And then there was still a separable differential equation, like what we just recently did. Every year had one of those. So that's where you have your slope fields, and they often ask them about the tangent line or linear approximation. So there are 6 free response questions, and these 5 topics continue to come up every single time. And then that 6th question, it seems to be a variety of things. So I went through, and for our remaining questions, there was one that was over A-rock, absolute, max and min. It actually had a limit within the free response. Another one, it was mean value theorem, having you do your derivative chain rule again. There was an area in volume one, and then there's another one that was volume but also related rates. Haven't seen related rates on a free response in a while. And then there was one that was just implicit differentiation. So what we're going to be doing between now and the mock exam is just each day we're going to be looking at the different free responses for this. Today, time permitting, we're going to look at differential equations. This is most fresh in your memory. Hopefully this goes well. I think we already did one or two of these. And then we're going to, each class period, tackle another topic here. So pretty much in class, we're going to be tackling a free response topic and then a multiple choice topic. So that's kind of our breakdown of what we're going to be doing. Okay. Okay. Also, I have for you, hopefully if I counted right just now, AP does not often release multiple choice. They have recently released the 2008 multiple choice. Hey, that's the exam I took. And the 2012 multiple choice. They always release the free response, not always the multiple choice. So what I've printed out for you, because we have the multiple choice that are broken down by topic, but I think also too it's probably good to see some more recent multiple choice. The multiple choice that are broken down by topic is just like from the 70s, the 80s, and then early 2000s. And so I went there and also copied the most recent release exam in 2012. Yes?
The multiple choice are like the topics like mix each other, no? Like are they like mixed up?
They are mixed. That's a good question. Yeah. So it's not like the first chunk is limits and then derivatives. They have it all interspersed. That's a good question. So what you have in front of you now is the 2012 release exam, and we will be using this also in class. So my thinking right now is that each day we'll come in and I'll tell you a certain number of problems to do as like your warm-up, and to just kind of help us continue to practice with the timing. We'll follow the timing that they had for it. Back in 2012, the AP exam timing was a little different. Instead of doing 30 questions, 15 questions, they did 28 and 17. So a couple years ago they changed it. Still the same total number of questions, but now it's just a little different in how many on each chunk. So that's why you'll notice it's a little bit different here. So what we'll do is each class, when you come in, I'll tell you which numbers to do for the warm-up, and I'll put on a timer to just kind of help us practice that time frame of about 2 minutes per question for non-calculator and 3 minutes question for calculator. And then we'll go over our homework and talk about first one's questions. So you want to keep this with you every single time you come to class. And our homework will be the multiple choice questions by topic. So our multiple choice questions, we've got, let me make sure I'm telling you right, we've got like topic 1 is limits and continuity. I'm actually going to do that today. Thank you, class. Topic 2 is dealing with derivatives, higher order derivatives, implicit differentiation is kind of like everything derivatives. Topic 3, I don't know if I have right here, is applications of derivatives. And then 4, I think, is integration. 5 is applications of integration. And topic 6 is our separable differential equations. So it's pretty much kind of just going in chunks: limits and derivatives, applications, derivatives, integrals, applications, and then our last random stuff. So that, ideally, in doing that for homework, you're able to kind of identify which topics you might need to focus more on. If you're struggling a lot with your limits and continuity, then that lets you know you need to go practice the limits and continuity. So let me actually, there's a lot of thinking happening right now, guys. Okay, before I forget, this is a complete side topic. I want to remind you guys that there's that nice, beautiful website called getafive.com. And this is not just math, but of course math is the best thing on here. So they have on here hey, bio, guys! Bio's on there. Does anyone do world history, U.S. history? Is that you? No? Oh. Look at you, advanced kiddos. All right, so this website's really great. It's kind of like Khan Academy in that there are videos to go with, and they have practice questions. You could pay for them to like grade your stuff for you and give it back to you. But so this is really great because it has information and practice problems and videos on individual topics that you can access for free. But they also have a practice AP exam on here. I'm not making you do this, but if you would like that as extra practice on your own outside of class, you can do this practice AP exam. And I'm not sure if you have to pay for them to tell you which topics you need to focus on, or if they automatically tell you that. They will score it for you, the multiple choice. You can pay to have them score you for your spots. But it's just another resource that has a lot of great information in terms of videos and practice problems. But it's nice that they have an actual practice AP exam. Also, you can always just Google search AP 2012 AP Calculus exam, and that's available. Okay, that's a side thought. So, I'm going to have you guys work on some multiple choice. And I need to get from you guys your topics for your cross-section project. I gave you your topics, but I didn't tell you the code for it. So it just makes it easier for me when I'm grading instead of having to look and be like, okay, so you were yada yada function with equilateral cross-sections, and then I have to look at my long list of all the prompts to find yours. I'm going to go and tell you what your code is so I can, on your project, you'll say, oh, I'm A5. You'll still write out your prompt, but on the back of your name, you'll just put A5, so then I know I can go to my code and be like, A5 here. It just makes it easier for me to find the prompt. So if you could get out your prompt while you're working on multiple choice, I'm going to tell you what your code is, and I'm going to write it down for my reference as well. Okay. Sorry, that was a lot. Do we have any questions before I tell you what multiple choice to do? Wow. Just a reminder, your cross-section projects due next Thursday. I think, don't we have Stinger on like Tuesday? No.
Yeah,
Tuesday?
yeah.
So we'll let that Stinger also be devoted to work on your cross-section project if you want to bring materials and actually glue stuff or just work on the interval. Okay. So everyone that did not get topic 1 for multiple choice. Okay. So I want you to go ahead and work on topic 1, limits and continuity. You are welcome to work individually. If you want to work with someone nearby you, that's fine. This is our first of the 6 topics of the multiple choice. And while you're doing that, I'm going to come around and find out what your prompt code is for your prompt. Questions as to what we're supposed to be doing? I can put in a lot of choices.
Just for the first one, do you have to limit says everything else?
I believe it's approaching 0. I can double check my key. Okay, do we need more time with topic 1? Multiple choice?
Just a little bit.
A little bit? Like, show me in fingers how much more time? Like 2 minutes, 5 minutes? 2 to 3, let's go 4. Yeah, when geometry I always take it down. Alright, we'll go 4 minutes. Ooh, guys, look! I have an egg timer now. At home, this means brownies are done. Unfortunately, here, no brownies.
What? So when you subtract
Okay, 4 minutes.
Oh my gosh,
Feel
I
free
knew
to
the
consult with
answer,
those around you if you're
but I
stuck.
didn't know how to get there.
Feel free to consult with someone other than the person next to you.
I knew it was gonna be something. I didn't know what to type. You can see it.
Okay, so these are the answers to that topic 1 multiple choice, limits and continuity. We'll just double check.
Oh, 6 I got wrong now. Yay. I haven't got
Okay, now that you see the answers, now just take a couple minutes, go back and look at the ones you messed up so you can figure out what to do. Take about 2 minutes and then we'll go over any remaining questions we have.
So you just do this kind of
How do you get to like single grade?
so you get 4, you get
Oh, you
4 to the
get
power.
yeah.
You can like
She does not. One is going your way.
Yeah,
Okay, so 4 minutes subtraction is ln 16.
This is weird, but like if I and then you press it on so that so this is okay, so that's where I'm here.
No, I think you have to end that with 1.
I did two weeks right.
And it's 60 at the top.
But how do you if you keep writing
I'm not 8 at the top.
you would need to have the top equals 8.
Okay, what about...
But that's you can check.
Guys, now that we know what the answer is for 8, let's figure out 8.
Alright, let's go take a look at what questions we have.
Talk for which? You talk and type.
Okay, so again, we're doing limits of continuity here. What questions do we have?
Number 8.
3.
Yeah, for your reasons.
Okay, we'll go 8 first and back to 3. So for 8, when you try to plug in, you get 0, 0, and so we could do L'Hopital, and then as you guys found out, when you do L'Hopital, it starts to get worse and worse. So then, at this point, we can't factor anything, but we can rewrite tangent, so maybe let's try that.
oh,
Versus 0. So I'm just going to start off, this is limit versus 0. So tangent of 2x quantity cubed over x cubed. So guys, a couple of things as you're going through and doing AP stuff. Remember, multiple choice, they're not looking at your work, right? So although it is wonderful to have proper mathematical notation, that should always be what we're striving for. You don't have to on your multiple choice. You can save yourself time. We should always be writing limit, but, you know, save yourself 2 seconds. Don't write it. Do your algebra. But on for response, make sure you do have proper notation. Okay. All right, so let's see. Can we rewrite? How can we rewrite tangent? Sine over cosine. I think I'm going to keep, or I'm thinking I'm going to break up sine cubed over cosine cubed. So I've got sine cubed 2x over cosine cubed 2x times 1 over x cubed. Okay. If I substitute in my 0 here, oh, this is such a good problem. Okay, if I substitute in 0 here, sine of 0 is still 0, cosine of 0 is 1, but we still have this 0 on the bottom here. Okay, so what could I do now? We could do the derivative here. It's still going to get pretty nasty though because of that product rule. Can we do another substitution? Another identity?
Yeah.
So we've got sine 2x, right? I think that's where I want to go with this. Oh my goodness, this is so easy. All right, W would have got it. So limit is x equal to 0. So what is sine 2x equal to?
Yeah,
Sine times cosine.
2 sine x cosine x? Yeah. Now this whole thing is cubed.
I agree with
But you have to get rid of the x cubed. Like, that's what you think.
Right. So I think I'm going to leave this one cosine cubed 2x. I think I'm going to leave that cubed in there.
Do you want my text?
I want your text? Oh, your text. Certainly. You can just sit on my desk now. Okay, I'm going to sneak peek what I did. Okay. So we have our x cubed. Now, it was either Sydney or Chelsea said something about this. Didn't we have a... What does that mean? 1. Could we somehow get that within FRQ? Okay, so let's... We see we have now this nice sine x, right? And we do have next... It's inside the cube, it's inside the cube. Can we maybe like re-piece things together? So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this here. I'm going to go ahead and cube each of these individual things. So I've got 8. I'm going to put that piece over here. I've got sine x cubed. I've got cosine x, cosine cubed x. I've got my x cubed. And I've got cosine cubed 2x on the bottom. Now, couldn't I rewrite this guy as x approaches 0, sine x over x quantity cubed? Let's hope that this is from the 70s, not the 2000s. Okay, now we have the rule with limits that if our limit of the inside exists, we can take that power outside of it. So I can break this up into doing, so I'm doing the limit of this piece and the limit of this piece separately. Because what's the limit of sine x over x? If I were to plug in my 0 over here, what do I get? 1 times 8. So 8. So notice the limit exists here, the limit exists here. When our limit exists, we said we can break it up over that product. And we said that we could break it up by taking that power outside. So technically, if I were to rewrite this, I can do the limit as x approaches 0 of sine x over x, the whole thing cubed, times the limit as x approaches 0 of 8 cosine cubed x over cosine cubed x.
Way too much time.
Okay, so then we end up getting 1 cubed times, and we said this was just 8 over here, right? Was that the answer? Sweet. So how are you going to come up with that on your own? Great question. So here are things. First of all, I love that you guys tried L'Hopital. That's awesome. Remember, L'Hopital works when we have 0 over 0 or infinity over infinity. Once Lipital starts to get a little too crazy with product rule, you might want to abandon ship and try something else. With trig, always try some type of substitute. Changing sine and cosine was helpful, but it didn't get us much further, so we had to do something beyond that. Honestly, I would have also considered breaking this up as to sine times sine squared 2x and maybe doing a Pythagorean identity there. Would that have been helpful? I'm not sure, but that's another thought with that Pythagorean identity with double angle identity that could help you out with that. Sorry, I was thinking something else there. So then that's what led us into our double angle identity. And then at this point, we're like, what in the world can we do with all this? Well, was it Chelsea? Were you on that? Okay, so Chelsea's getting the credit here. We do know something about this particular limit, and we do have that sneak in amidst all this chaos. So now just separate that from the chaos and see if the remaining chaos is able to take the limit of it. I think that was the hardest one of the whole thing, in my opinion. Okay, number 3, was that the other one?
3.
Was 3 the other one that we needed?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got limit as x approaches 8. Alright, we take 8 and put it in, we get 0. 8 plus 1 is 9, we get 0 to 0. I guess we could do L'Hopital. I don't know that I want to do L'Hopital with the radical there. I'm just going to go ahead and multiply by my conjugate. Alright, so I'm going to multiply by 3 plus root 1 plus x. 3 plus root 1 plus x. Yeah. Oh, see, I'm wasting time right now. I shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so I'm going to leave that unsimplified, or unmultiplied. And again, I'm probably wasting time by rewriting this. I probably should just go ahead and simplify the bottom. So we get 9 minus, and make sure you have in parentheses 1 plus x. That's minus this quantity here. Alright, so then we get, so now I'm going to be smarter and not take longer. We get 9 minus 1 is 8 minus x, so we want to factor out a negative, so I have x minus 8. So then we have those reduce, and I have negative of this guy, so plug in 8. Negative. And it's of that whole thing, isn't it? 3 plus root 1 plus 8. Does that make sense? You gotta be careful with using your parentheses there. And again, like I said, if it's free response, you better have proper notation. If you were to do what I did here, it's all wrong. So make sure you have proper notation. But again, multiple choice, they're not looking at your work, so you do what you need to communicate your information to yourself. But do be careful, don't drop so much stuff that you get lost in it. Okay. Other questions with this? Stellar. Okay. So I know we just recently did a differential equation for response from 2018. Sorry, I'm spinning the screens. I am going to have you do part of another for your response. This one I'm just going to go ahead and display on the board and have you write out your work on paper. So if you want to get out paper for that. That'll be our class. If it doesn't match perfectly with it, so the fact that we can x minus 8 and 8 minus 8, it will otherwise it will just, oh, well, look at also, guys, something to keep in mind as I'm throwing free response questions at you. Obviously, you can look up whatever free response questions you want on the interweb. But our setup for... I'll just write it here. So our setup when we are doing the free response for calculus is that it goes 2 free response questions that are calculator, and then the 4 free response questions that are non-calculator. So when I throw a free response question at you, if you're not sure whether it's supposed to be calculator or non-calculator, numbers 1 through 2 are calculator, numbers 3 through 6 are non-calculator. So the one that I'm throwing at you. Alright. Okay, so I'm only going to have you do part of this in the interest of time. So this is from 2016. This is question 4, so it's a non-calculator question. The first part, so this is kind of a traditional type of differential equation one. The first part is slope field. The second one asks you to write the equation for the line tangent at a particular point and then use that to approximate a value. And then the last one says find the particular solution with the initial condition of f of 2 equals 30. I think this is, let me triple check this one. Wait, I think I pulled up the wrong one. I want a 2017 question mark. Don't do this one. I mean, you're welcome to do this one. Okay. So this is a not so traditional differential equation one. We're going to, so it's got the boiled potato. Remember my students coming back saying about potatoes. So we're going to ignore the first part. Again, it's equation of line tangent. They like to make you do that for differential equations. They ask you some about under or over estimate. This is what we're looking at. Okay, so basically it says, here's our differential equation for dg dt, and they want you to find g of t. So again, we're going backwards. We're doing our separate and integrate. And they give you the initial condition, g of 0 equals 91. So let me zoom in on this so you guys can see it. So basically, I just want you to go ahead and practice. We're separating and integrating this guy. We want the particular solution that goes through g of 0 equals 1.
Good morning. Please excuse the interruption. Jolly Juniors, during TA today, you're going to be meeting with the following to discuss junior post-secondary planning. For those students who have Mrs. Bosworth, last names begin A through BH, please report to the library. Those who have Ms. Shake, with last names beginning DEL through GRE, please go to the back of the cafeteria. And those students with the last names MO through PO, Ms. Parkinson, please go to the back of the cafeteria. Have a great day. Please don't blow away. Bye-bye.
I think it's supposed to be windy later today. Like gusts up to 40 miles per hour.
And then it went away. So
Crazy things happen when you don't know about it.
0 is X, your Y is 91. Because if you think of it as EY, DX, that's unique to get.
I understand. I don't like my word.
So was it negative?
What are we supposed to?
Well,
do, right?
first part, yeah.
Oh,
I got this.
Okay, I know you might not have finished it, but I'm going to go ahead and bring up the grading rubric 4. Now, I didn't have you do this last part of finding the temperature of the potato at time 3. So when we integrate, we are not doing natural log here. We have to just do our power rule with integration. And they went ahead and substituted the value right away. And when they did, they got C was 12. So their G of T was 27 plus quantity 12 minus 2 for quantity Q. So our points again, 1 for separating our variables, 1 for our antiderivative, 1 for using your C, initial condition, and then 1 for our equation. Okay, so I passed out to you topic 2, multiple choice. That's your homework for next class. The answers will be posted up on Blackboard. Oh, Caitlin and Sarah, do you guys have your prompts for the cross-section project? Do you have a video? Okay, here, let me.